Hello, this is FG, back with you for Anbennar. Today we are playing as Red Scale, which is one of the Dragon Coast kobolds. It is basically the kobold nation with the best starting position, simply because it has a very good a very good ruler who is 555 with strict, versus Blue Scale, who has a tactical genius, which is less good, and a 3-3-4. And we don't talk about Green Scale's starting position because they're horrifically bad. Alright, so I've went ahead and handed out all of the privileges we need. And, we can actually do magical exploration, which is wonderful. We're not going to do a kobold trap right now. Yeah, because Gnomish pass claims don't really do anything for us. We will additionally build a galley. What do I want to do? This is going to be short term. Barrage. Abjuration? Yeah, Abjuration seems good. And then... oh, yeah, we don't have any mana to summon a, what's it called? To summon, familiars. We do want to try and sell as many ships as we can, because we would really prefer to have galleys rather than anything else. Just so we can try and put up some type of fight. And we are recruiting a handful more infantry. I went ahead and made sure that I got a pretty good general. Alright, so we want to do a monstrous conquest. And we are just simply going to hold position right here. Our general should be enough to prevent anyone from actually trying to fight us. Let me get this guy. And that would be them getting declared on by everyone, because, of course, why not? Alright, Scorch Earth. Excellent. And we need 6 regiments to siege this. We cannot afford a second leader. I do not want to roll my general into a leader, because I would kind of like to have him around for as long as possible. But I should have been building the spy network just to get that extra percent of extra siege progress, or siege ability. Alright, and for these, we want them to protect trade in the Dragon Coast. We'll go ahead and put the Admiral on. Alright, we will go ahead. Nope, we can't take anything yet. We're gonna go ahead and just move through our Red Dragon aspect. We cannot afford that for the moment. Excellent. And then we want to move them there. Doing pretty good time. Alright, we lost our mercenaries. That's not great, but... Alright, that should prevent them from building troops in most of their territory. We will see if they will simply surrender and let me take all of their provinces. They will. And we can get 108 ducats, which is excellent. Alright. And go ahead and core everything up. War exhaustion is not great, but I don't want to do anything about it. Entry 6.04.42. Another gnomish patrol today. Lavaz sent me to watch inside the seaside battery, the one hidden inside a recently beached cog. Weird that the gnomes call them cogs. They call everything cogs. Their main boat anchored too far out, so we stayed silent. They sent out a scouting vessel, probably trying to get the gunpowder cache from the ship. If they had sent a bigger force, we'd be dead, but they didn't. They hadn't seen us. They rarely do. When the ship entered, Talltooth's group descended from the ceiling, while Bonebrands rose from the hole in the ground. My group erupted from the side, screaming Nimrit's battle cry. The gnomes fled right into the other two, who had blocked off the exit. It went quick, quicker than usual. We found maps on the dead, maps of our land, slowly being filled out. We know what's coming. Lavaz is planning an assault on the pass, and to take them by surprise. Might be our only shot. Lavaz is our ruler. Alright. They have definitely made it so the culture groups are a lot more... Or, not the culture groups, but the various cultures are a lot more spread out. Alright, so we want probably 2 more galleys. And then we need... Prestige, yeah, we'll take Miltech. Kobold traps. Dragon Coast. Yeah, half off. Sounds good to me. We need that one. We'll keep that one. As far as traders, we are collecting from trade, which is correct. We'll do domestic trade power. So that way we get a little bit of extra money. And Nimscott has no allies. They have a 1 tech advantage over us. And they have 0 men in reserve. I'm gonna go ahead and take a save here, and we try and fight this right now. Okay, that is... Actually take 2 infantry and run right there. Ooh! Lucky wall break. If I could honestly just get, like, these provinces... I think I'd be fine. Yes. Alright, that is province's full chord. While it does slow down the process of getting tech, we do need to go ahead and full core those because they are, like, the most core of our core provinces. Okay, we're gonna have to let him take that. Alright. It's gonna be painful. Yep. Alright. Right here. Alright. Actually, that's not the worst thing in the world. How long does combat ward last? Yeah, take that. Finding its way D-land. Alright. Our 13,000 versus their 4,000. Alright, looking good. Objective is to take these provinces over here. Is that all of their ships? It is not. Alright, so there is a chance that they move more. Yeah, yearly inflation reduction's fairly good. Alright. Red. What then do you possibly contribute to Kobold kind? What does it mean to be blue? It means wisdom. We keep the stories of Maliath, Tachyon, Ayerthral, Nimrith, and all others. We find epiphany in their stories and dedicate ourselves to their deeds. Red. But is it not the dragon priests of red and green who travel the land and learn these truths from outsiders? Is it not us who find divinity, and you who simply hoard it? Blue. To hoard is to be dragon, young one. And you might have understood this if you were blue. The red and green may scavenge for pieces of divinity, but those pieces are nothing alone. Your stories make their way into the caverns, and here, they're assembled into the whole. The dragon priests of blue make meaning out of the world, just as we grow the horde. Take these ships and move them over here, and then we will move them right that way and get Cotteron. Of course, we want to get the entire army there, so we can go ahead and do that. And cannot unify the Kobold people yet. What if I don't take that and I take that instead? I'm gonna go ahead and siege down these other provinces. You know, these guys can head over to Drocod. Alright. We will simply take the islands for the moment. Take that. Actually, we can go ahead and hit this button once. Like that. These guys can head back that way. More cores. Alright, so do that. Seize land, spy in Selendor. We need to build some more kobold trap. Do we want to build more kobold traps right now? Sort of. Okay, so that's 4 ducats compared to... Or 0.4 ducats, so I think that's technically a little bit cheaper. So we'll do that. Also lets us keep more manpower, and then we will also go ahead and build up more. We can... Where is my military button? Drop the ports. Okay, we are looking very good right now. That's what I was worried about. Alright, tech-wise, Tech 4, Tech 3. Alright, we can do that. No. And we can do... Combat Ward, 25. Yeah, we don't want to do that yet. This can get a Defensive Edict. And we will get 1, 2, 3 more infantry. Any man, 153, 2, yeah, fine. And every time siege tick goes by, they lose more and more men. We also gain a whole bunch of garrison from that singular month tick. Okay, so what is combat width right now? 20. Alright, we are gonna run up this way. Spellbook. Combat Lord. The name of the game when you play kobolds is attrition. Now, the name of the game is Thieves War, but you know what I mean. Ritual. Yeah. Contribute to the horde. Oh, great, all our military leaders are dying. Wonderful. Spellbook, Affected Journey. Alright, I am gonna take a save here, because I really need at least a moderately competent siege general. Sell land. Don't usually do that, but I need the money really badly. Okay. Land conflicts. Looks good to me. Alright, and do we have combat ward? Get that back up. Alright. We're good right there. Ran in the tribes, learning by doing, tribal assimilation, plundered knowledge. I'd actually like to rein in the tribes for that extra money. Alright, Gawet has lost 70,000 men. Roughly 65,000, mostly to attrition. Would they be willing to just take a white piece? No. What if I blockade their ports? I could get another general. Alright, we're gonna go back, because I need a slightly better shock general. Alright. I'd really like 4 shock. I think we should be able to manage that with our army tradition. What's our army tradition like? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna pause and come back when I have a satisfactory general. Yeah, got it. As soon as I stopped recording. Right. these guys need to attach the Red Scale Army. Throw down a combat ward. Alright, that is good with me. And then I need to go spy on Selimdor, and I also need to spy right here on Gowed. And need to contribute to the hold at some point. Okay, Stress Tribe loyalty needs to be 60 or greater. I can do that. And alright. A little bit of extra missionary strength. Excellent. Okay, these forts need to stay up. However, the other forts can get dropped. Let's see. Also need to accept the blue scale kobolds. 50% off. What are advisor costs looking like right now? Half a ducat. Looks good to me. Then I also want to go ahead and build a trap down there. Yes, looking good. Can't declare war on Nimskad, which is unfortunate. Do the green dragon. Alright. Dragon Coast. Got that one. Excellent. And the mages need to be happy. What can I do to make them happy? Yeah, that's free, effectively. Okay. And we should also go ahead and... I guess there's no harm in studying Abjuration again. Do any of them have tech cost? No. Alright, more crown land is wonderful. 2 of those. Yeah. 5% extra, it's great with me. And then it's gonna have its edict taken off for the moment. Need that, and then we need more admin tech. Institution-wise... Accept the cliff gnomes. Galley compatibility will be very nice. Force religious unity. Do that. Red scales. Yeah, we want that. And missionary strength would be silver. Oh, wrong one. Silver dragon. Do not like spending all of this admin power, but we just have to. And then we put one on right there. Where will they rise up? Right there. And then we do this, and that one, so I can get the extra missionary strength. Hey, we got to do that earlier. Yeah, we're just gonna have to take the higher institution cost. Although we can throw an advancement edict down right there and just get it naturally. Okay. Alright, so they need to be 60. Alright. Red. I now see that I was wrong. I did not understand Tachion's wit, nor Nimrith's diligence, nor Iarthal's mystique. Please, let me molt from red, and join the blue. Let me cast off my scales, and be one with your Viraxia. Blue, no, my friend, do not reject your body so that you might embrace mine. We are meant to be dragons, not simply each other. In the meantime, take the purple of fungi and paint your scales with its hues. Maintain the cunning of red, just as you embrace the wisdom of blue. I shall do the same, and we will bind our tribes forever. Of course, my impatience betrays me. We shall work together and combine our virtues like two dragons dancing in concert. Together in purple, we unite the dragon coast, and never live in fear again. So we take that. Alright, that gets us down to much lower autonomy in a lot of these places. And for them, we need 50, which means we fire our artist. And we get a mage. Entry 02.01.49. New recruits had a suggestion about how to trap the Damestier Isles. All new recruits do, but this one was a sorcerer, so of course she was arrogant. But she did something interesting, unique. Dame Steer hadn't empowered her, so she used her fire breath all over some fungi. Usually that'd just get it to spew fire in return. She'd done something to it, though, like made it magically receptive, she said. Like the gnomes do with glass and iron, it absorbed the fire breath, and when she triggered the fungus's natural defenses later, it spewed fire like nothing I'd ever seen, like some kind of natural enchantment. Is that what herbology is? She's not the only one either. We're learning a lot from the locals, even if they're scared of us. They may have been too dumb to learn from us, but we're not too arrogant to learn from them. Got our own spin on everything, though. Like the Draconic Sorcerer, their mages don't even breathe fire. Don't even try. Hard to imagine not wanting to breathe fire if you could. Yeah, we can do that over here. We'll go ahead and keep the spy network on Go Web, because that could potentially give us a heads up when they decide to attack us again, because they're dicks. We will go ahead and throw another trap down on Morgaru. And make that place an absolute nightmare. Nimskad. I still have a truce with them. We can, however... After that's done, we can go ahead and send an insult. Alright, that is great. Maliath's Call. Blue, and that's what we shall do with the wealth of our enemies once we are joined in triumphant. We shall live like monarchs. We will provide for our Zendia, our Trivu, and even on our Varaxia. We will never go hungry, and the gnomes and humans will beg us for scraps. Perhaps we shall, and perhaps they will. But, my friend, you forget the most important step. We must first give what we have to the Horde. Before we reach the Zendia, the Trivu, or the Varaxia, we live and prosper by the grace of the dragons, and so they must be venerated. Whether in war or in peace, we ensure the dragons be showered in treasure when they inevitably return. But what is the point of our wealth if kobolds still starve? Are we not obligated to protect ourselves and the dragons? Without dragons, we are nothing. If we prioritize ourselves, they shall never return, and we shall never be victorious again. No, if we fight for ourselves alone, we have forsaken our right to be dragons. Alright. Probably should have built a, building there, but it's fine. Half-off Missionary is solid, because we are converting these dastardly gnomes to the undoubtedly correct religion. Alright. Can't do that one, can't do that one. No, we can actually. Okay, we'll take that off. Every relations here. Every relations here. Bavaria allied. Okay, they're not allied with anyone of note. We can do a monstrous conquest on them. Alright. How many galleys do they have? Not enough. Although we really should probably get a general. I mean, they can try and siege that. They're not gonna have a good time. But... take 1,000,000,000 casualties sieging my province. And then we want to improve relations right there. Yeah, do tolerance of the true faith for the moment. Truce with Gawet is up. We will throw down a defensive edict right here. So they have a very fun time trying to siege that province down. Trap Trivu. The small social structure of kobold society is the Zendia, or the large family. Because kobolds lay eggs and raise them collectively, Zendiak, the plural form of Zendia, can range from dozens to hundreds of kobolds in size, as Zendia's members usually live in shared homes or burrows, and they do not even have words to distinguish between cousin and grandmother. For all members of the Zendia are simply part of the family, with kobolds having extremely little gender dimorphism or cultural gender roles in comparison to most Kenorian humanoids. Even the distinction between mother and father means little. The children are raised collectively by members of the Zendia who have taken it upon themselves to rear all of the tribe's young. The next largest social structure is the Trivu, which is much like the tribe of tribes. Trivuak form the building blocks of communities, and entire villages or cities are often made up of merely one Trivu. Trivuak are known for specializing in certain fields. Trivuak often federate around mines or particular trade routes or docks and take on a family business which defines them. Here in Morgaru, a new tribu is formed based entirely around our traps. Garrisons from all over Redscale have now populated the trap in Morgaru, and each of these garrisons has brought part of their respective Zendiak with them. Here, these Zendiak have intermingled for years, and they're now officially federated into a new tribu. Morgaru has its own dedicated protectors with a single family business protecting our kobolds. Alright, kobold traps. Trap mastery. Yeah, let him hold the meeting. Outside ideas. I just want these provinces for the moment. Right. 20 institution and the capital. Currently we're at 35, so we need 4. Now, we can do 3 though, and just simply dev it a little bit. Yep. I could instead do this. Should just be able to scare them off the trap with that. Or not. For some reason they decided to take that fight. Alright, and we will do... I do more Garu again. No. X to Garu. Alright, how would I get an extra missionary? Missionary. Yeah, there we go. Red, I see. I must make the pilgrimage to the Horde. Before I do, I must ask you, what does it mean to be a dragon? Is it all about burning your foes and standing tall above the ashes? It is about lording over those who have hurt us? Is it about power and control, molding the world into the form it always should have been? Perhaps dragonhood is about freedom, not power. Perhaps draconic is found high in the sky and deep in the earth, where we cannot be reached by those who oppose us. Perhaps it is the state of not being bound by laws, rather than binding the world as we wish. But if we obtain power, should we not wield it? Do we not have the responsibility to rule as dragons do? Nimrith rules, but Tachyon does not. Each acts as they see fit. Are we to demand that each adapt to the other, or to ourselves? Can we truly say that we know the meaning of dragonfire? Story of Viraxia. Dialogue often performed by blue-scale dragon priests. At this time in the story, both priests would look to the audience and ask for their input so as to answer this question. Skepo, a representative of the Greenscales, finds herself rising above the crowd with mounting anger. She came here to participate in the unprecedented meeting, an assembly of dragon priests from across kobold kind, brought together to assess their shared doctrines. But all she has heard is heresy. Interrupting the current speaker with a roar of interjection, she declares, "None of you know what it means to be a dragon. You disrespect them all by claiming we can become them. A kobold cannot be divine. None of us will ever be gods." The speaker, she interrupted, Risa Red Talon, shouts right back, "Shut up, you backwards fool. We embody the dragons more with each conflict we win and every battlefield we conquer. To be able to control the world around you is draconic in its own right. We may start small, but were the dragons not ancient before they could burn down cities? This prompts another delegate, Morak of Rivenarchy, to announce his own creed. The dragons did not create us to fight, nor deny us our potential. We are here to change the Dragon Coast, to shape it, not just overpower it. Just as Tachyon shifted form to become one of us, we must change, not to overpower, but to become more like him." The delegates argue for hours. Fistfights break out constantly. Dragon-blooded sorcerers insist that their blood implies superiority, and scrappy artificer priests insist that adaptation means divinity. After days and days of argumentation, the conference comes to a conclusion. The essence of a dragon is found in power. Alright. We're gonna chill out for just a little bit. Okay, yep. And if we did it right now, we would gain 1, 2. Then we want to come back here and improve relations. The reason I'm sitting around is because I will get aggressive expansion if I take the peace deal, so I can go ahead and drop that one for the moment, and that one. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and we will do technology and trade. Entry 0.058. I rarely question Leva's judgment, but I didn't want to be sent on a trade ship to Port Dam. He said I was too valuable for my head more than my gun, especially as I get older. Since I was doing well in Bake Odds, I'd be a good pick to watch over the traders. I accepted because I had to. Didn't like it though. Thought the Gnomish translator would just say all my words wrong. Thought the Creek ones would end up killing me. Turns out they weren't too hostile. We're pretty interested in a kobold trade ship with gnomes on it, really. Seems like they never really liked the Cliff gnomes anyway. Thought they were always overselling how dangerous we were. Were Cliff right or wrong that we weren't dangerous? We didn't massacre, but we did conquer. We're happy to buy our dames tier, and even some other stuff too. Sold us guns and resources, plus a bunch of books. Translators told me some of them were satires. Gotta say, the jokes about Nimscott were pretty funny. Alright. And then more reps. Excellent. Yeah, we will go ahead and do that, and that, take tech, and we gotta go with exploration. Alright, that fort can stay since it is a kobold trap. Alright, we're looking pretty good. What is my institutions looking like? Great. How much would it cost to embrace it? We actually almost have enough money. That's really good. And we will take 3 of these. Give them an admiral, or not an admiral, an explorer. We won't take another tech for the moment. Or rent we want to actually improve relations with. These we want to mark as threatened. Alright, my nation was looking not too unstable, which is nice. Doing very well on converting the gnomes. Damn it. I suspect that, what are they called? Duran has probably already colonized the Lonely Isle up here. Oh, we did discover the New World. What is black right there? Primacy of might. Alright. Traps and tribulations. Sure. Tech trade in the Dragon Coast. These guys can get partnered up with the transports. Outside ideas. Yeah, national unrest is good. Northern Thaw. we actually have good relations with. Well, maybe they Duran didn't colonize over here. Because they're usually the first to colonize, so... If we can get this island, that will give us a nice head start on everyone. Alright, and we can explore the northern coast. Obviously, we really want the Lonely Isle. Very desperately. We can explore North Aelantir coast. Great power-wise, not doing amazing. Although if Lauren ever manages to attack a Wed, we're definitely going to go in to grab our provinces off of them. Okay. Excellent. I would like to explore the Broken Sea. A Rising Star. No. Is there any chance of any province getting it soon? Not soon enough to be... Alright. Excellent, we're looking great. We're all caught up on institutions, but not on tech. Which is fine, because we have been conquering a fair amount. Bjarnrik and Gwed. Obviously want all of those provinces. Want those provinces too, and the rest of the more provinces, why not? And we will engineer more kobold traps in Morgaru, kobold traps on this one, so we can get these up to level 2. And Morgaru has level 3 traps. Can I do more Garu? No. I'd really prefer to upgrade the forts, places that already have forts. How do we feel about humans? Alright. Yes, that one. And then... Can we build some more kobold traps? We will do one in... Right. On that one. So now we have these very spooky, unpleasant traps, which give us extra 30%. Right here we have 70%, and we crank that up to 100% if we have an, what's it called? An edict down. Alright. Let's do a couple of those. These guys can explore. I'll do Giant's Grave C. Okay. Looking good. Yeah, we want that. Zamalot's Reign. Yeah. Speaking of Zamalot, next campaign I do is gonna be the, what are they called? Estil. sadistic evil dragon boy. Oh. Aren't they just... Are they not just fighting? Alright. Tech trade in the Dragon Coast. Transfer trade there. Alright, a little bit extra money. It's nice. And then we will do Embrace New Thought. Yes, we'll take that. Obviously we need this. And then we can come right here and we'll do Native Repression policy for the moment. We may change that later, probably not. Promise new lands. And magical exploration, even though it doesn't do anything at the moment. Alright. How much mana do we have? Enough to do Protected Journey is the answer. So we should get colonization done nice and quickly. Explore the Giant's Grave Sea coast. Dragon Coast. Axed Garu. Big old dragon. Nope, don't want that. We'll do that one, though. Yeah, it's gonna be monstrously unpleasant for anyone to try and siege us. And when can we start demonsterizing? X7. Alright. Looking really good right now. How old's my heir? He's only 54. Pretty good. National manpower modifier. I'll give it to him. Enforce religious unity down there. Get that done nice and quickly. Who do we want next? Green, right? Yeah, green. I think the green dragon is over here in the deep woods, just taking a nap. Coast. Ooh, we can actually get ahead of time. Copper. Great. I think we have a fair amount of copper in our land. Not really. Dragon Coast. Morgaru. Yeah, put one there. Yeah, we'll have a little bit of land. Alright, I can get a lot more men in the field now, so we're gonna go ahead and build a few more. I'll build a single cannon. Go ahead and switch to the green dragon. Alright. we'll need to go fight Nimscod. I don't think I'm gonna bother accepting the Revarians just because it's too small of a culture. I'd much rather accept something like Bluefoot Halfling or Goetti. Even if the Goettis are evil and skin us. Yeah. Okay, let's explore. Sail into your coast. So we'll get this island done. And we want to grab that one, which should be... should be close enough. I don't think I got colonial range anywhere. Dragon Coast. Could I... don't have the money. Never mind. What's our governing capacity looking like? Eh. It's deeply upsetting to not have a correct flow advisor. In fact, to the point where I am going to end this episode, and between episodes, I am going to reroll until I can get the proper advisor, so I can start or continue on with the whole colonization process. And then we can start grabbing these provinces, so we can have a nice big colonial kobold empire. This is actually one of the better kobold starts I've had. I think because I didn't actually try and fight Gwed super hard. I just, you know, took their money and peaced out. That helped a lot. Tech-wise now we're basically the same. We have... I'd need more manpower, though, to be comfortable declaring war on them, because they just have a significantly larger army. But we have the advantage of having a horrifically powerful defense through the various Kobold Trap provinces. Because that's, you know, nearly 100 fort defense on that. It's going to be 70 fort defense there, 100 fort defense there. Just for the first provinces, and if they, you know, make it further into our territory. Yeah. Alright. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and have a good day.